Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Live Beyond Average podcast. It is May 18th. Welcome to the 1-year anniversary of the Live Beyond Average podcast. We actually sat down exactly 1 year ago, Austin and I, and recorded our first podcast. Now there's a lot of reasons as I'm looking back 1 year. There's a lot of reasons I knew back then, but also things that I had learned about myself in the past year of why I started this podcast, what it has done for me, and things that I look back on over the last year that I just want to touch on today. I wanted to do a big 1-year anniversary podcast with Austin. Both of our schedules are just really busy right now. I'm lucky to be actually sitting down after a quick workout to record this really quickly for you guys. So last year on May 18th, and a little bit before that, I'm a few months out from turning 30. Back a year ago, I was a few months out from turning 30, and I was actually about 6 years-ish into my run-to-gun business. Had been grinding pretty hard with that for a little over 6 years with fitness, with training one-on-one, nutrition, group training, online training, as well as our Run2Gun TV show that we put out every single year. So I've been grinding a lot with that, and I was to a point with that I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be with that. I wanted to be further. I felt like I had been grinding for so long, nose to the ground, wasn't making a lot of noise in the sense of being vocal about myself. I was just working and putting my stuff out there. And so I was at that point where I wanted more out of that, and I also was working a full-time job, and where I was at with that isn't necessarily where I wanted to be in life as well. And so I needed something, I needed an outlet, I needed something to express myself, to do something, to put my words, my feelings, what was on my mind out there, unlike what I had done in the past. Now obviously our TV show, we had put a lot of messages, and you probably heard some of them in the podcast that we had ripped from the show, put onto some motivational, some Throwback Thursday style audio. And we were talking that way to help empower and motivate people. But there was still more within me that I needed to express. And so I started this podcast because I felt like my nose was to the ground long enough that I had earned the right to be able to speak some of these things about my experiences over the last 6 and 7 years, that it was actually time that I'd earned the right to speak. Before that, I felt like I was somewhat too young. I had experienced enough to be more vocal enough about these experiences, my life experiences, hunting experiences with clients, hundreds of people that I've worked with. And so I felt like it was finally time to be able to do that. And so we started sitting down, talking about different experiences, some things that have helped myself or Austin or any other people that have come on the show and share their experiences that have helped them during different times in life, different struggles, different failures, different even successes or nutrition or training. And so we started expressing these things, and I really was just learning about myself through all of these. A lot of times, even when I was recording and speaking these things, they were internal feelings that I was maybe feeling about myself, or I was even talking to myself to encourage myself to get through something. And so that's just something that the podcast itself, I'm always out there trying to give value to my listeners with it, but I was giving so much value to myself, it's self-belief through all of that. I just find that so important, and I want to share that with all of you, that a lot of times through your journey to accomplish your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, it's going to take a lot of self-talk. And because there's not always going to be somebody there patting you on the back, encouraging you. I'm lucky that I have a very supportive wife and family that supports me, but it's still, I have to utilize those things. But if you don't believe it yourself, if right here and right here, your heart and your head aren't believing it either as fully as they should be, it's going to make that struggle so much more. So self-talk and really talking your way through those tough times, believing in yourself, is only going to help propel you through all this. And this is what the podcast has done so much for me, beyond just the branding. I mean, that's a whole nother subject. I went into this podcast to expand my business as well, beyond just the TV, beyond just our fitness and nutrition side of things. I really wanted to find a new avenue that could be utilized, that I could actually make more content, scale my brand, scale my content, so I just had more stuff out there, more opportunity for people to run into my content and maybe lead and follow dots to other areas of our content. And all this we have done for free. We've not monetized it. And that's always been really important to us too. We have so much content out there for you guys. If you go to our YouTube, we have, I think, upwards of 325, 330, 40 videos up there that we've spent the last 7 years working on and putting out there at no cost for our viewers, our fans, our followers, people that maybe just run into it. And we wanted to do that with the podcast as well. A great opportunity to just expand our brand, to allow people to learn this additional side of us that unless you have met us, you might not know. And so I know a lot of people that have met us, they know a little bit more of this personal side of us, but this is just a great way to get more of that insider feeling, emotion, what's going on in a day-to-day from the Runchkin world, from the Jordan Miller world, that I wanted to get out there. I wanted you guys to be able to connect to what I'm doing more so, and just know that everybody's dealing with different issues, different struggles, and that I deal with them too, just like any of you. I know that in a lot of my stuff I come off confident, and I do feel confident in myself most of the time, but there's still times I'm still human where I struggle and I doubt myself, and I'm not sure what I should do, and I'm not sure if I should continue this or that. And I felt that way many times over the years with even Run to Gun, that there's been more times I've wanted to hang up my hat with it and let it go than others. So there's just times where you have to keep the trust, keep the faith, and I wanted to express that and get that out to you guys too, that even people that are putting their stuff out there for a long time, we're going on season 7 of TV, season 8 of our business, and that, hey, it's a struggle, and that we go through hard times as well, and we know what it feels like. Your situation, I'm not claiming I know exactly what your situation feels like, but I do care about it, and I do encourage you to get through it and keep grinding and to sit back and self-evaluate the situation, and to really have perspective in your life compared to perspective to the world. And that's just going to help you build so much more self-confidence. And now that I'm sitting here on May 18th again in 2019, a couple months away from being 31, I feel like perspective has just grown. I feel like my personal self-awareness has grown in the last year because of sitting down and recording. This is episode 63, but we actually have 66 episodes recorded. We have some Easter eggs in there that weren't numbered, so you can scroll back through and try to find those. So 66 episodes we filmed this year. I kind of had the goal to do 100 last year. I really didn't know what that was going to look like. So the podcast has really been a non-judgment zone for myself, to just sit down and record thoughts and feelings and experiences, and whether or not they're right to somebody else or wrong to somebody else, they're just topics that I know I've felt. So the perspective I know for myself has grown in the last year. My self-awareness definitely has grown. Just the outlook on life. I feel like I've always had a pretty good outlook on life, but I feel like this has just helped me grow that and just relate to people and have some more of that connection towards other people emotionally, and just sitting down and speaking my mind, has been a great thing for me as I'm going into being 31 years old. We'll see what this next year brings me. I don't feel quite as, I probably feel just as stressed out about some things that I want to grow. I want to keep helping and empowering people through all this. That's really the only reason we've kept Run to Gun going. I think we're past trying to prove anything like we were in our early days, or we started this business from absolutely nothing, no help. Like we had a bunch of money backers or money line in our pockets to get a TV show going. We just went out there and started doing it. Started selling our vision really, and it felt like we had a lot to prove. Where now I feel like we have less to prove in that arena, but more to prove in the sense of just getting my beliefs and my visions and my my want to empower other people to go out and chase what they want to chase, even though it's going to be hard, even though that it's extremely challenging. I want that for other people, and I want to encourage them to do that. And so that's more or less of the lifestyle side of things that we're trying to accomplish. So definitely feel like that's where we want to be at going into another year, utilizing our fitness lifestyle, our health lifestyle to encourage other people to do the same, using our hunting, our adventures, and how we train for them as just that little bit of excitement, empowerment, the entertainment factor to enrich your life, and showing the fun that you can have. And then that's the big part of what we're doing. And then the podcast, obviously, to sit down, give you something, a daily encouragement, an opportunity to sit down and learn some things that are going on in our head, the excitements, the fun times, the stuff we learn, but even the struggles that we go through, the struggles that I go through, and trying to just be transparent and open up my heart to you guys a little bit, and share my story and my journey of the great times and the struggles. That way you don't feel alone either, because man, when you dream big dreams, I really believe in this. When you dream big dreams, I call them discouraging dreams. They're so big, and you chase them that more often than not, you sit down and those dreams are more discouraging sometimes than they actually are exciting, because they can be so big and they can feel so out of reach. But that's when you know you're dreaming the right dream, is when they feel that way. If you're being real with yourself, that it's something you can be good at and that you're here for, and you were put on earth by God to do, that's the right dream. If you're feeling that way, you're feeling overwhelmed, it's feeling heavy on you, that they feel like a discouraging dream, man, that's when you know you got the right dream right there. So I encourage you to dream discouraging dreams, and to just remember how empowering they can be in your everyday life, to go out there and strive for a struggle, and to work and enjoy that process and love the journey to get through it. Thank you for listening, for those of you who've been along since episode 1 back on May 18th, 2018, and joining me today in May 18th, 2019. I hope that our journey continues, and I hope that it leads another good year of podcasting. Obviously, I don't plan any of these. We're not on a schedule to air every Monday or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I sit down when I can. Some days I get out for a week. Some days it's 10 days or 13 days in between a podcast. I try to do them as often as I can, but I also don't like to force a message. There's times when I feel like I don't have much to say, or I don't have any value to give to you, and that's when I struggle to sit down and really podcast or express my feelings. And maybe I should have sat down and talked about that. So here's my opportunity, that there is times that I don't feel like I have anything to say. I might be quiet on the podcast or quiet on my social media. And it's not because I'm trying to be consistent or inconsistent with our content. It's just because I don't feel like I have anything of value to give to you. And I don't want to rob your time if it's not something that can be valuable to you. And so that's a big part of what I do. I never want to rob your time or steal your time. I know it's extremely valuable. And so I am so thankful for any of you who are sitting down, taking the time to listen to my message. And I hope it's always encouraging. If it's not, let me know, because I always want it to be encouraging to you and to empower you to live a life beyond the linear confines of average. Thank you guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Got a phone call coming through. I apologize about that. Have an awesome rest of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in to the 1-year anniversary of the Live Beyond Average podcast. We'll catch you next time.